this is practice help for the Ruins from Undertale duet, for the secunda part, the low notes, all the bass clef stuff. All right, so at the beginning, we're going to be kind of in the middle C area. Here's middle C, and our first note is this G sharp right below middle C. We've got G sharp, D sharp, B, and then A sharp, B, C sharp, and then your left hand can come in and hit this F if you want. If you'd rather, you can use your right hand thumb, just wiggle it back and forth. That's okay too. All right, so for that first section, that's kind of our main phrase that we're going to repeat. And then we do it again. It does that a few times. Now, the first thing we have that's different is at the end of measure 6, our left hand is going to probably need to do this section because there is no pause between those 3 notes that we're about to play. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah, these 3 notes left hand, and then these next notes with the right hand, no pause in between them. There is not a rest there. So you really want to use 2 hands here. So we'll use the left hand for these, and then the right hand for these. And that way we can play it smoothly without a pause. Keep going. Some more different stuff here. It's going to be F, C sharp, D sharp, F. And again, no pause between that and the right hand notes. That's the goal. All right, now after that, don't miss this treble clef on your right hand. We're going from bass clef into treble clef. So now we are playing these notes in the high C area. So here's middle, here's high. We're going to be using this G sharp right here by the high C. We only do that one time and we come back to the bass clef, but now instead of middle C, it's even lower. We're coming down to the low C area, G sharp here. We do that a couple of times, and let me see what's next. Gotta scroll. And then we've got the C sharp, F, D again. We're still low for that part. And then that F, C sharp, D. Then we've got another treble clef. You gotta really watch the clefs on this thing. We're moving a lot. So not to middle C, but up to high C, G sharp there. One time, and that's where we hit the repeat. So for your repeat, we're going to go back to, guess what? Low C. We're jumping all back and forth. Now this time, on the repeat, when we get to here, bumping the camera, sorry. When we get to here, where the number 1 and the bar is above your music, that means this is what we play the first time. So when you're repeating, we'll go back to these dots at the low C and we'll play 1, 2, 3 measures, and then you have to skip everything that was under this number 1 bar. We're gonna skip and go on to the things that are under the number 2 bar, and I clicked off of it. It's gonna slow us down a little bit. Here we go. I was trying to scroll and I closed it. There we are. Number 2 bar. It's at the top of the second page. This would be a lot easier if I could print. All right, so top of the second page, we're in bass clef on low C, and then we're getting even lower for those left hand notes that are coming up. So down in the low C area, G sharp, D sharp, B, and then low C sharp, F sharp, D. And then you may notice if you look closely, these notes are higher on the staff than the notes that we have been playing. So we're moving back to the middle C section. A lot of moving around in this one. You really got to watch it close. We only do that one time there, and then we get a whole new section. And this is the part that we covered in your lesson this week. This is what you should be focusing on during practice at home this week. So we've got a B flat with the left hand, and then A flat and F with the right hand. And you want to make sure you're counting these. so we don't get off track with our rhythm. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and. You can count 1 and 2 and 3 and, or if you want to count it some other kind of way, that's fine too. Just make sure that you're following along with the music and you're only playing the amount of notes that are there. We don't want to just keep going and lose track. And 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and then it changes to A, G, and E. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then we're moving a little lower, G sharp, F sharp, D sharp. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then even lower, G flat, F and D flat. Even lower, E, D sharp, and B. Even lower, E flat, and B flat. And it feels a little bit weird here because D sharp that we played in the last measure is the same as E flat. Those are inharmonic, same note, different names. So every time we've been going lower, but this time we're keeping that black key. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and there's one more. And watch this one closely because it doesn't repeat like the other ones did. We only do it for the first half of the measure. D, C sharp, A, 1 and 2 and 3 and then we're going to play D, D, D. And you can stretch and do the octave here for those last two Ds, or you can do a crisscross. Any way that you want to hit those, as long as we're going smooth and steady. D, D, D. And then our next section is going to be E flat, G flat, B, and then, oh, I think I have a typo here. Yep. I gotta fix that before I send it to you. E flat, G flat, B flat, G flat, A, F. Like that. Oop, the A's not flat. Bloop. I'm gonna have to edit this video. So it does that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And then in the next measure, measure 31, we're getting real close to the end here. It almost does that pattern again, but it's going to change on us. E flat, B flat, G flat, and it's a quarter note. So we're holding, and then F, G flat, A flat. And then for our ending, we're just going to throw a D flat in front of that pattern. And that is the end of it. Repeat and fade out from there. And we will talk about how we want to end this one. We could just fade right there at the end and kind of let it fade out there, or we could come up with a chord or another part of the song that we want to repeat. We'll figure that bit out later. For now, we want to concentrate on practicing one section at a time. This week's section is that new part. 1 and 2 and 3, and make sure you are counting.